recording, so I'm okay. Okay. Um,
Are you sure? Picking up audio.
yeah.
Shame. Goodness. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But
We're all
just
good.
for my own background. You based in Cape Town. You have a family. Your life has obviously doing with yourself these days.
Okay. I'm actually almost 100%, let's say, doing community work. I'm with a volunteer organization and bringing truths and hope to a lot of people across the country and inspiring everybody to be better, step into their sovereignty, their beautiful, sentient, powerful beings that we all are, and actually starting to learn what it means to self-govern. So in other words, to treat everybody with love and kindness, no matter what comes your way, is to remain in sort of equanimity. It's a really good word. It describes how you respond when there's a challenging situation. So I'm loving it. It's really beautiful to see positive change happening in the world.
That's amazing, and I'll get to my questions now, just about your tenure as Miss South Africa, but your life as it is today. It's 20 odd years later. I didn't do the maths now. Is it something
No,
that
don't
people
ask me to do this.
do people still like call you, like when they see you on street, do they still stop you and ask you, are you Miss South Africa from 89? And yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I was just at a function on Friday evening down in the deep south in the Cape. And it was really amazing. A lot of enlightening information being shared there. And a gentleman came up to me and he said, "You were, weren't you? You were." So, of course, I don't like to sort of tell anybody, but I was like, yes, caught me out. It's me. And yes, so I still get people asking. But I never promote it. So when I meet people, I never say I was, because oftentimes it comes with expectations, and I would like people to take me as I am and not to judge me in advance. So, yeah, it's funny.
Okay, thank you. So, I don't have a lot of questions because I know that our time is limited, but also it's a 10-minute insert. So I want to get down to it. The first question that I just want to ask is,
Okay.
you were crowned in 1989, is that correct, right?
89, that's correct.
If you can briefly, what is, if there's something that you remember specifically about your kroningsaand, about the night that you were crowned, the nerves, the
Yes.
excitement, the it's a different competition than what it is today. I mean, there's crown chases, so there's a little bit, the public knows something about the contestants today. What do you remember specifically that stands out for you about your own evening?
Okay, well, definitely the excitement, because in those days, the Miss South Africa event was a production. It was sort of like an extravaganza, and each of us were given a task, whether it be dancing, singing, or whatever it was, role playing. So you really participated to make a grand show, and it was incredibly exciting. I absolutely did not believe I would win, because I did not, and I still don't. I don't like to toe the line. I will swim upstream. That's just my nature. And it was the same during the Miss South Africa. I didn't want to wear the high heels. Yes, I did eventually for the actual evening show, and I didn't want my hair to look all glamorous and shiny and smooth. I wanted it to be bushy and wild, because that was just my nature. So I really did not expect to win, and but I was fine with it, because I entered Miss South Africa. That Miss South Africa I entered as a dare from a friend, and just thought, well, why not give it a shot? So when I did win, I was really shocked, because I had different plans for my life, and it was like, oh gosh, okay, things are going to have to change now quite dramatically. And it was incredibly exciting, because I realized that the job that I would have for that 1 year, I would give everything of my heart and soul to it, to make a difference, and to try and let people see that you can really be who you are. You know, everything's about love and kindness, and it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. If you're not looking like the polished Miss South Africa, which came before me and many of them afterwards, it doesn't matter, because it's actually what you share from your heart to people. So I was incredibly honored and very surprised. But I loved working with the production team. I loved working with the stage managers, and I loved working with the girls as well. It was just so nice. It was fun. Very different to how it is now, because there was also no social media. So no, very different.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Today's Miss South Africa is completely different. You have to have a social media presence.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say is different? The challenges and just the social scrutiny that's on the Miss South Africa today compared to what you had in your year.
Well, I can't really speak to how it is for Miss South Africa today, because I'm not in that situation. But I think the challenge with social media is that oftentimes one would feel the need to be on best behavior and to have your best side put forward. So there's not an opportunity really for downtime. So I think the challenge must be enormous, because a lot of people have a skewed perception of beauty through social media, because it shows things that are not really true. It's very easy to set up beautiful lighting and to give your best angle and to stand in a pose and a position that makes you look incredible. And when you meet somebody face to face, you're like, oh, okay, you're much shorter, or you're a little wider, or your hair is slightly different. So I think social media can oftentimes come across and make other people feel inadequate. So my suggestion to any Miss South Africa, and especially Mia, who looks like such a beautiful soul inside, is to spread the love and to show people the truth of who you are inside, because there's nothing worse than making somebody else feel small and less than. We all want to uplift everybody else. So during Miss South Africa, my days, we had the report in Sunday Times newspaper, and every Sunday or Saturday, there would be an article, and sometimes not a good article, but there would be the truth coming out, and a journalist and photographer would have followed you to one or two events. So there'd be exposure. It was regular. It was constant every Saturday and Sunday. And then, of course, the TV interviews and radio. But there wasn't that constant intrusion into one's life and the need to perform for the camera constantly. So the engagements we had, which were sometimes between 3 and 5 meetings a day, whether they be opening a shopping center or meeting an ambassador, or traveling to a children's home. It was done in a very, I'd say, private space, even though we would maybe have journalists and photographers with us. But you didn't feel the need to be on point all the time, because there wasn't that constant camera in your face. So yeah, it must be very challenging these days. And for me, my heart aches when I hear about so many young girls who feel that they are not good enough because the images that are shown on social media are so unrealistic. And yeah, so very different, that's for sure.
On that note of being very different, I mean the competition has also evolved over the past few years, where it's not have, been able to enter Miss South Africa in the past few years. Mia herself has said that because of the inclusivity that the competition, you know, because of how inclusive the competition has become, she felt more comfortable to enter. Today, women over than, I think the cutoff age is 29 or 30. People who have been pregnant or married, it's things like that. How, just in terms of inclusivity, compared to your time, is that something that you feel is good and positive?
I do, because I really feel, and I think possibly this is also part of the branding and concept for the current Miss South Africa team. You really are a kindness ambassador. You represent not only South Africa, and in my days, during my year, we were still banned. We weren't allowed to enter the international competitions because of the political status. But that said, you really are representing not only your country, but you're actually representing the hope and inspiration of so many people here. So you're a kindness ambassador. So it doesn't really matter if you are 20 or you're 28. If you can be the most beautiful being to share love and kindness, to bring hope to everybody each day, to uplift somebody, to go and make a difference, it really doesn't matter what your outside is looking like. It's what's inside that is so important. So I love the fact that it's more inclusive. I really do. And because we're all one, we're all connected in so many ways. And it's lovely to see that everybody's been given an opportunity. And I must say, I've thought deeply about Mia because I read a little article about her, and she mentioned something from her hearing situation when she was young, learning to listen to sound. And I love science and all these unusual things. So I remember Nikola Tesla mentioning, if you want to understand the secrets to the universe, you've got to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And sound is energy, frequency, and vibration. And you don't have to hear that. You actually feel it inside your body. And the same thing with love. And I can see that from just looking at Mia. She exudes love and gentleness and kindness. And it's not something you need sight or hearing for. It's something you feel deeply. And I think she's going to make a very wonderful impact on people during her reign. So I'm very excited for all this inclusivity. I really am.
Awesome. Okay. And then my last question. You touched on it now, just the brand of Miss South Africa. The competition has been with us for decades and will probably still be. Um, if
Yes.
if you can just sum up, as you can opsom, like just the importance of still the relevance, rather, not the importance, but the relevance of having a Miss South Africa pageant. I think every year the conversation is also like, why are we still having beauty pageants? Is it still necessary, etc. Maar in your own words, why do you think it's still important to have a Miss South Africa competition in our 2024, in our society?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think again, it's about being a kindness ambassador because the world is challenging. I do believe there's a very bright future for us all, but it is challenging. Everybody struggles each day with lots of different things, circumstances that are challenging, financial, emotional, family situations that are not good, children in orphanages. And the whole thing about the Miss South Africa, it's not really about beauty. It's actually about the beauty inside that you can share. And I think even though it's packaged in a beauty competition, it's not that at all, because the most incredible, beautiful beings are being selected to spread love, inspiration, hope, motivation, to uplift and possibly to bring in money for charities and to connect people and to, it's really about uplifting. So I think the Miss South Africa is very relevant because it's not just a ditzy beauty competition. It is not at all. It's so much more deep and meaningful than that. And for Mia, I know she's going to have a very positive impact on people's lives. And gosh, if we can each do one kind deed every day, imagine what a beautiful world this is going to be. So I think the Miss South Africa is very important because these are beautiful souls that have been selected, and I think they're going to do a great amount of good in the country. So I'm all for it. It's definitely taken on a different meaning.
Thank you. It does. Okay. Just in closing, is there anything else that you wanted to add, or that you wanted to yeah, enigiets that you wanted to mention or add in your from your year? Um, we spoke to Annalene this morning. She mentioned that they used to walk bare feet. Was that also something that was different to your year, or did you walk in high heels already by that?
Oh, I did tackies. I did tackies and jeans because I really do not like high heels. I think they look stunning if you're going to an evening function and you've got a magnificent dress on. Yes, looks beautiful. But the most uncomfortable things ever that were designed, I'm sure, I don't know who designed them, but terrible. So for me, I like to wear jeans and tackies, and that, of course, caused a little bit of upset. But again, it's all for me. It's about connecting with people on a heart-to-heart level, and I don't ever want to make somebody feel threatened. And that's what I really enjoyed during my year, was being able to get into a racing car, race around the track, to connect with people on a very cellular level. Never to be bigger or more important, because none of us are actually. We're all the same. The outside just looks a little different, but we're all the same. So I enjoyed the adventure that I had. I enjoyed meeting people. And one of the things that was so wonderful for me was actually connecting to young children, because they are so free with their emotions and there's nothing that holds them back. So they don't feel awkward if they want to run up to you and give you like biggest hug. They'll do it because that's what they're drawn to. So I had such amazing moments with some really beautiful young people. And, that is what gives me hope and fills me with inspiration for our future, because it's so easy to positively impact somebody, and that is what we've got to do. So I know, just chatting to some people on my journey after Miss South Africa, I've met quite a lot of people who said, wow, you inspired me to do XYZ. And when I hear that, even though my year sometimes was very challenging because it was so busy, I became quite emotionally exhausted. But at the same time, knowing that in a small way I was able to help somebody on their own journey, it was really rewarding. So no, it was fantastic. And but I closed that door. I closed that chapter when it finished, and I moved on. But no, it's wonderful. It's very exciting and a great honor and a privilege, I must say.
Sorry, I have to ask, and we don't. This can be completely off the record, but did you ever feel a bit left out because you couldn't compete in the international arena?
No, no, not at all, because I never really believed I was going to win. So I never had aspirations to be Miss South Africa, and I certainly didn't have aspirations to be an international Miss. But the weird thing was, and it was just divine timing, is I was in Hong Kong actually on official duty with a film crew. And we went to I think it was called the Grand Floating Restaurant I think it's Kowloon, I might be mistaken. And whilst we were there, all of the I think it's Miss World. Yeah, I think it was the Miss World competition. All of the Miss World entrants arrived in the restaurant together with the owners. And when they realized we were there too, because I went into the bathroom and I got to chat to some of the girls who were in the competition, it was so wonderful. And when they heard I was Miss South Africa, because I had my sash on because we were busy doing filming, they were like, but why are you not in the competition? So we had some amazing, conversations about this. And the funny thing was, the organizer of the Miss World, they made sure, because they were filming the girls in the restaurant, they made sure that I could never get into the picture anywhere. So they blocked it, they angled the cameras in such a way. We had such fun and games that evening. But no, it was so funny. But in a way, I'm glad that was never afforded to me, because it would have taken my life again in a very different direction. I'm very happy with the way things flowed for me. And yeah, so I mean, that's part of South Africa's history. And, it's lovely now that it's all opened up and that there's a much bigger world there for the current Miss South Africas, and to really showcase the beautiful people that are in this country. Because from all the volunteer work I'm doing as well, I've felt this from when I was very young. In South Africa, Southern Africa, we've got some of the most incredible people here with big hearts, and it feels like there's a heartbeat actually that beats really strongly in Southern Africa. And I'm in love with all of our people. I really am. And to just have had the opportunity to have engaged with everybody during that year was wonderful. It's medicine for the soul. It really is.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Okay, I'm done. I'm happy. I just have to ask, just not not work question related. You had these big curly hair. Is that something that you still wear? This is just me asking because I've got curly hair and I try and not always have it, but I that's like my thing. Like my hair is my thing. I love big hair. Is big hair? Does that still like kind
I
of
also, yeah, I love. Well, in the 80s, it was not only big hair, it was shoulder pads. Everything was, I don't know if you remember, but there were shoulder pads. So when I was doing modeling as well in those days, if I look back at some of the photos, I'm like, oh my word, what is that jacket I was wearing? The shoulder pads are like out here. But my hair, I used to put my head forward and I would like back comb a lot, and then I would spray with lacquer. Oh, I'll never do that anymore. I'd spray with lacquer and I would use mousse and scrunch and get my hair all like big and curly. And I loved it like that. I really did. There were some evenings I'd have to soak in the bath with my head soaking in the water to try and untangle the knots that were there. So my hair was always, it wasn't very curly, but it was wavy, but it was unruly. It was like a thatch
had a
roof.
life of its own.
So it did. As I've matured, I've let the gray hair grow because I'm all about being natural and organic. I don't believe in harming myself with toxic chemicals. So I've let the gray grow. And yeah, I've blow dried it a little bit now, so it's straighter, but it is wavy. It really is. But I love hair because I think this is part of our
No,
antennas to the universe.
I no,
So,
I absolutely love your hair, and I'm 39 now, so my grays it's like gray. I colored my hair for the first time ever in my life, but I know that like I don't want to say that my hair is my personality, but I love how the life that I give my hair and how it exudes my personality. And I think looking at your hair in the 80s, 90s, like it was big now, and looking at it now, it still has like character and it has life and it tells a story. I think I love that.
yeah, thank you. No, I love long hair. For me, it's just I've cut my hair short twice in my life. And the last time was a very long time ago, but I dyed it black with henna. And it was the biggest mistake I've ever made. And sitting in Joburg, or Tambo, I thought, no, I can't deal with this black hair. So I went and sat in the chair and I said to the hairdresser, who I didn't know from bar soap, cut it all off, please. And I felt so naked. It was actually terrible because I can hide behind my hair. You know, when you got long hair, you can hide behind it. And also, if I'm cold at nighttime, if I'm cold, I can bring my hair over my ears and it makes it nice and warm. If I want to warm my neck, I can just wrap it up and I'm also fine. But no, I feel very naked without hair. It's such a
No,
strange thing. I'm so used to long hair,
no,
and I really am. And I think this is part of the thing for Miss South Africa. I think is very important to show your natural side. It's it's very hard to be made up all the time and looking perfect and well groomed and things like that. It's challenging, and that's not normal life. It's really not. So the more we can embrace our natural, whatever the natural is at that moment in your life, the better it is, because then you make other people feel comfortable. And I love it when people say, oh, I'm so excited to see the gray hair because now I'm going to stop coloring my hair because
precies,
that's very toxic.
precies. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, it's very unhealthy. Within a couple of seconds, once the coloring is on your hair, within a couple of seconds, it's in your bloodstream and it's traveling around your body. So no, it's like, no, we don't want to go there at all. And, why should men be allowed to age gracefully and have gray hair and we shouldn't? Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It's for all of us. No, it's, I think the more comfortable you can be in your own skin, whatever it looks like, the better it is, because again, it comes down to what's inside. You know, what are you exuding? What are you sharing? What love are you giving to other people? And it doesn't really matter what one looks like on the outside. It doesn't. So yeah, exciting times.
No, I
Really is.
so value and appreciate what you said now. Um, I think the older I get, the more I also I'm also trying to learn that also with body and just embracing and celebrating. I think the thing that I'm trying to learn is celebrating my body and celebrating myself in what I am and oh, okay. Um
It's so important. Is
yeah, if there's unless there's anything else, I see the meeting is almost done. Ek moet afskakel in 10 minutes for my cheap Zoom account. But
sure. We've all,
it
we've
was
all
so
got to make
lovely to
things work.
say again. Say
No,
again.
I say we've got to make do with everything that we can, because things are expensive these days. So we make it work.
We do.
That's for sure. No, but I'd love to sort of just share a message and my message is to say to everybody, no matter who you are in the world, in South Africa or the rest of the world, the most important thing is that we must come together in unity, because together we are incredibly beautiful, powerful, creative beings. And by seeing that in others and by sharing that from ourselves, we are really going to make this world a beautiful place. And I wish Mia everything of the best for this year, for her year. And I know she's going to be spreading a lot of love and hope and inspiration. So I'm in full support of her. And yeah, just to everybody, just be the light and be the change that you want to see in the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that beautiful message.
It's
Um,
a pleasure.
I so yeah, I we on site uit op 'n Woensdag on kyk net at 9 o'clock. I can't send you the link, but if you ask me again, and I'm not really allowed to send the link because they are a bit strict, but if you really want it, please ask me on Thursday and I can see if I can just pretend like I didn't know that I'm not allowed to send you the link.
Thank you. That will be so nice. I will really appreciate that. But it was lovely to connect
No,
with
thank
you.
you so
And
much.
I'm
It
very
was so
grateful to
lovely.
Leonard also for Leonard, so wonderful. If you need any Miss South Africas, he's got a little black book and he will find you Miss South Africas.
No,
So
I
he's very
I didn't know, but I saw got him on another show that we are doing for Via about antique collections. So I didn't know that he worked for Prince and Prince. So when I called him, and we spoke, and he told me that he's actually like into like he's actually when it comes to jewelry, he's your guy. I didn't
absolutely
know that ek sommer jackpot geslaan het, so I'm trying to get not him but his colleague Rihanna on the show. So yeah, so grateful for meeting
one.
him.
Yeah, no, he's a lovely soul. He really
How did
is.
he
But
cross your path back then? Like just as someone who did jewelry, or was it
no,
completely by chance?
he's actually Annalyn Creel's social media manager. So he's managed her social media for many years, and at almost all of Miss South Africa's over the years, Len would be there. Not all of them, but he would be there, and that's how I got to meet him. And yeah, no, he's lovely. He really
Wow,
is.
that's so
Knows
cool.
he knows the industry inside and out. I must say, he really does. It's yeah,
No,
it's great fun.
it's good
But
to know people
it'll be
like you.
lovely. Yeah, it'd be lovely to meet you sometime in real life
No, for sure, for
in Cape
sure.
Town. And
For sure, definitely. I obviously did my research after you said yes to the interview, and I don't think I realized what a this is completely now not part of the interview. I didn't realize what a progressive Miss South Africa you were. I think you did a lot of things that the normal Miss SA wouldn't necessarily do, and I think that to me was so like you to you sorry, this is not just my personal comments and thoughts. You were really more than just the beauty face of a Miss SA. Like you did and said you weren't scared, and I like boundaries What you were, yeah.
Yes,
So
no.
I
Push
love
them.
that. Yes, I love that, and
Yeah.
I think I was too young at the time to appreciate that, but now I can't imagine if that must have been daunting for you because we were in a very different time than what we are now.
Um, No, it wasn't daunting. It's actually just I cannot be in a box. That's the thing. I feel like I need to be a free spirit, and that's why I swim upstream all the time. And some people don't like it, and some people are fine with it. But we sat at one event actually, I think up in Johannesburg somewhere, a big dignitary-filled meeting, and I stretched across somebody to get the salt, and I was wrapped over the knuckles because I should have sat politely and said, please, can you pass the salt? Just a small little thing. But
Yes.
again, I just rather connect with people on a deep, meaningful level than to be airs and graces, because airs and graces are not cool. It's nice to be graceful, but to have airs and graces is not nice. So it's
Would you say you were one
hard.
of the first Miss South Africas that kind of weren't scared to also, not be this picture perfect, version
Yes.
of
Yeah.
always saying and doing the
Yes.
right thing that was maybe
Definitely. No, I think when I had a look behind me, so the people that came before me, definitely I broke the mold at that point in time, for sure. And that's why also now I'm so glad that it's more inclusive, because it doesn't matter actually. What matters is how you conduct yourself during your year and what you're able to share. And that is the most important. How can you inspire, and how can you leave the world a better place after your year? That is the most important. It really is.
Do you think, sorry, again, not part of the interview, when you won, do you think I mean, it was still very like a different time, but yet you were the
Mm.
one that they chose to represent South Africa. Do you think that they took a chance in terms of not wanting to follow the exact same formula, or do you think they, that the time was right for,
Yeah.
doing something that
Some,
might have
yeah,
been a bit.
I actually, yeah, I don't know, Karen, and I've never actually given thought to that question, but I think, sometimes people need integrity, and they need honesty, and they need realness. And sometimes when the world is too fake, you cling on to something that's real because it brings you back down to earth. And that's what we need. We need to be grounded. We need to be real. We need to have integrity. And, the glitz and the glamour, it goes away. So I think it was very nice that they took a chance. And I hope that I made a positive impact in my year
I
as
definitely
well.
think you
But,
did. You did. I mean, if people remember you and kind of still, have that sense of, well, that's how I see it. One wants to feel like it wasn't just for the sake of a particular, competition. It was more
yeah,
than that. Sorry, I'm getting off
yes,
topic
absolutely.
now, but I think that I wish I was older then. I think at the time I was probably just too young to fully understand, but I really think I really admire what you stood for and what you still stand for. Sorry, not that you are not the same person, but I think that to me is that's really like that's
Yeah.
big.
No, no, thank you. No, I stand for a world that is founded on love, honor, and integrity, kindness, grace, because with all of that as our foundation, if we work all from the heart, this world is a beautiful place. That's all we need. And that's what I stand for. And that's how I endeavor to be every single day, is to step forward in the best way I can to be loving and kind.
Okay. I see
Okay, so I
my
think
time
we're
is up now, yeah.
finished.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Michelle. You were wonderful
Pleasure.
to speak to. I hope our paths
No,
cross again. But yeah, I'll send you the link on Thursday. Okay.
thank you. I appreciate that. Have a beautiful rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Ciao, Carryn-Ann. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.